Wait a moment, you're probably here because you've heard that Diddy's verdict contains significant corruption, as revealed by 50 Cent and Katt Williams. Things are getting hectic, so you're in the proper place when 50 Cent received his first threatening message. It read, "Tell Curtis I ain't done yet. What do you know, too?" Months ago, Katt Williams accurately foresaw this $50 million bribery scandal. Diddy's decision is completely illogical. We'll also talk about how corruption impacts all of this. Hi there, how are you all doing? Did he just escape some of the most serious charges that might have led to his life in prison? Wait, are discussing allegations of sex trafficking and racketeering? Here's where the insanity begins, though. This decision, which is utterly absurd, has the internet in a frenzy. Really, how is it possible for someone acquitted of sex trafficking to be convicted of transporting the same victims? There are overt hints of bribes. I'm not alone in thinking this, either. This is not just a haphazard judicial ruling. We are dealing with a corruption issue that is far more complicated than you might imagine and could cost as much as $50 million. Okay, let me explain for those who may not be aware of the true events. Diddy was consequently the target of numerous serious accusations. In essence, the fact that we are discussing RICO indicates that he was operating a criminal enterprise akin to a mafia boss. He was then charged with sex trafficking together with his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and another woman they dubbed Jane. He was also responsible for these transit costs under the Mann Act. The verdict that has everyone baffled is now available. There was no racketeering conspiracy, the major offense that carries a life sentence, been cleared of the charges of sex trafficking. However, the strange part starts when he is convicted of 2 counts of prostitution-related transportation. He might be sentenced to up to 10 years for each of those. Thus, we're looking at a total of 20 years, but take a moment to consider this. How can victims be transported without participating in human trafficking? The reasoning is utterly flawed. It would be equivalent to claiming that even though someone entered the bank brandishing a pistol, they did not rob it. Even legal experts are perplexed by this split ruling, and everyone is asking the same question. As he awaits his trial on October 3rd, Diddy is still being held without bond. However, that is only the start of this tale. 50 Cent's remarks significantly alter this decision. When the verdict is announced, 50 Cent tweets something along the lines of "Diddy beat the feds, what a grumpy kid." To be honest, the 50-person response demonstrates how astonished people were. However, the misunderstanding didn't end there. An example of Diddy's convictions and acquittals may be found in this tweet. And you truly grasp how strange this decision is when you see it presented that way. People are genuinely shocked that Diddy prevailed in this lawsuit. In any case, this was something that got people talking. In a court image following the decision, Diddy is seen sobbing and physically collapsing in his chair. He is suffering a breakdown as evidenced by the fact that his head is resting on the chair. Here's the issue, though. Did he cry because he knew something we don't know, or because he was happy? Diddy's fans, of course, celebrated wildly. I'm not joking when I say that a video of individuals celebrating his choice by virtually covering their bodies with baby oil went viral. Believe me, it quickly becomes strange. But hold on, things get even stranger. Do you recall that old Boondocks cartoon? They seem to have foreseen the entire situation. You'll be amazed at how accurate it is.
He wants to put R. Kelly in jail because he's afraid of R. Kelly. Objection.
Shh, would you be quiet?
I think he's afraid. I think the whole system is afraid of R. Kelly.
Your Honor, please! If you don't shut up!
They're afraid because they see the power for good that this man wields through his music.
Reactions from celebrities were now everywhere. Keisha publicly backed Cassie, declaring, "I believe in you, Cassie." I value you. Your perseverance serves as a beacon for all survivors. On Instagram, Rosie O'Donnell voiced her indignation, stating that juries never want to accept the idea that women remain due to force and power. She called the whole situation a comedy, saying that they believe women only remain for fame or money. According to Ray J, however, Diddy should have been cleared on all charges. This is where things start to get interesting. This video of Justin Bieber making a hand gesture that appears to be related to money calculations was shared by Young Miami. A lot of faint shade. Others say it shows how American courts are impacted by corruption.
George, his lawyers will argue today that Sean Combs deserves some special treatment. They're hoping to get him out from behind bars as quickly as possible.
After the ruling, even Christian, Diddy's son, was dancing outside the courthouse. The entire family was acting as like they had just won the lottery, so it's a mystery what they knew that we didn't.
It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
I have to admit that the thought makes my skin crawl. And this is where things start to get really dangerous. 50 Cent receives this enigmatic Instagram message from what appears to be a burner account just hours after Diddy was given the split, ruling, "Tell Curtis I ain't done yet. Think about the information." Curtis's true name is 50 Cent. Someone wanted him to understand that this was a personal matter. Additionally, insiders claim that Diddy sent this message directly. Who else would it be, after all? This is the reason the timing is so off. The documentary Diddy Do 50 Cent has been working on. That should reveal much more than what was revealed during the trial. Although the documentary is still in the planning phases, 50 has stated that it will reveal a complex story spanning decades and cover more ground than was discussed during the trial. Now consider it, 50 Cent is threatened shortly after Diddy receives this dubious punishment. Nor is it a coincidence. Retaliation is what that is. I might be going to prison, but I'm not going down alone, Diddy seems to be saying. Additionally, Sean Diddy Combs is scheduled to appear in court once more for a pre-sentencing hearing. But really, after all of this discussion about intimidation and corruption, I wonder whether we'll ever learn the whole truth about what actually transpired here.
Turn down $50 million. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
You should understand how serious this is when you take into account that 50 Cent is being threatened for producing a documentary. These conflicts are no longer limited to the entertainment sector. The repercussions of this are severe. The plot truly takes a crazy turn at this point, and you'll honestly have to reevaluate everything you believed. For months, Katt Williams has been warning us about Diddy, and his predictions are coming true. Do you recall when Shannon Sharpe and Katt sat down on Club Shay, but when he dropped the explosives, nobody was prepared? He reportedly rejected Diddy's $50 million offer for Times. For Times, there's more, though.
My point. You can't be so happy to change shit that you fuck up your life. You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house thinking they was finna dance? How does that feel? You a grown-ass man. You gotta leave Diddy's party like that. You can't even sit down in the car. You gotta drive all the way home, standing up.
Katt provided much more information about these $50 million proposals in a subsequent interview. Katt is said to have mentioned a few names in his Netflix special, but those were removed from the final version. But a joke that made it through nonetheless tells the whole story. This, however, demonstrates that Katt was correct about everything. Do you recall how Diddy paid hotel security $100,000 to obtain the video of him assaulting Cassie? How much do you think Diddy would pay to sway a jury if he is prepared to spend that much on a single video? And Diddy isn't the only one that does this. Many of the victims are being represented by Tony Busby, who says that A-list celebrities covertly compensate them to remain silent. This is an entire system of hiding crimes with money. Do you really think Diddy would bribe a jury? People ask me, are you serious? I ask, do you think this person would stop at jury tampering when he has a history of using money to further his agenda, including bribing security guards, buying off victims, and offering comedians $50 million in exchange for silence? The depth of this rabbit hole is demonstrated by the fact that Katt Williams foresaw this entire corruption scenario months ago. And now that the verdict has been delivered with its strange, illogical split decision, all of Katt's warnings are coming to pass. Let's now discuss why this decision has legal experts baffled and citizens like us seriously questioning our legal system. This conclusion's paradoxical nature is very astounding. You're telling me that Diddy transported people for prostitution, but didn't operate a criminal enterprise? He did move Cassie and Jane across state lines for the same reasons, despite your claims to the contrary. It would be like claiming that someone did not organize a bank heist, but rather used crowds and firearms to force people inside. The reasoning is simply nonsensical. Because of this, corruption is a topic that everyone is discussing. Think about Diddy's history of resolving conflicts with money. We are aware that he purchased hotel security footage for $100,000. As we all know, he has been spending millions of dollars on quiet people like Katt Williams. Celebrities are paying victims to avoid going to court, as Tony Busby has shown. As a result, the question that everyone is asking is straightforward. Why not bribe jurors if you can bribe security guards and victims? This is highly dubious. This goes beyond the actual verdict. The timing is crucial, the immediate celebrations, the threatening warning to 50 Cent, and the way Diddy's staff pretended to know something that the rest of us didn't. We are currently in a strange situation where we are unable to demonstrate jury manipulation, but are also unable to rule out all of the evidence that suggests it. There is currently conjecture that there was blatant corruption or that the jurors were coerced, and to be honest, both seem plausible given Diddy's record. A pre-sentencing hearing, and ideally, more research into the events leading up to this ruling are the next steps. However, I'm not yet waiting for the whole truth to be revealed. Ultimately, this case is revealing the influence of money in our legal system. It would seem that wealth and power can also result in behavior that defies common sense. Here's the bottom line. You see, although we are currently unable to confirm bribery, Diddy's history speaks for itself. Throughout his career, this man has utilized money to solve problems. And this decision seems to be just one more instance of that. This lawsuit is exposing the legal issues of multiple celebrities. The way that it is demonstrating how money may affect justice should worry us all. We need to start voicing serious concerns when decisions don't make sense. Threats are made immediately following court rulings, and comedians foretell corruption months in advance. I want to hear from you because of this. What are your thoughts? Is this a strange coincidence or corruption? I've read all of the theories, so please share yours in the comments section. As the dust begins to settle around the controversial Diddy verdict, the $50 million bribery claims are drawing more scrutiny than ever, and not just from 50 Cent and Katt Williams. Behind the scenes, whispers are growing louder about a larger web of influence at play, one that allegedly stretches beyond courtroom walls into boardrooms, media networks, and even federal offices. New insider talk suggests that the split verdict may not have been solely about legal maneuvering. It might have been a strategic compromise reached behind closed doors to prevent deeper secrets from surfacing. Legal analysts now point to how The case was fast-tracked in its final stages, a move some insiders attribute to mounting external pressure from unnamed interested parties. Meanwhile, Katt Williams' claim of turning down a $50 million silence deal has taken on new meaning, especially as rumors circulate that he wasn't the only one approached with hush money. Several industry figures, including a retired executive known for past dealings with Bad Boy Records, are rumored to have quietly accepted similar offers in exchange for staying off the record. Add to that the resurfaced story of the now infamous hotel security video allegedly acquired for $100,000 to suppress damaging footage, and you begin to see a consistent pattern. High-stakes payouts to control the narrative. What's more, some legal observers now question whether certain jurors in the case were handpicked, not just randomly selected. While there's no official confirmation, online sleuths have pointed out unusual social media ties between one juror and a longtime Diddy business associate, adding fuel to speculation about jury tampering. On the emotional front, the viral courtroom image of Diddy slumped in his chair, interpreted by some as relief and others as regret, has taken on a new layer. A former Revolt TV insider has hinted that Diddy may have been reacting not just to the verdict but to a behind-the-scenes deal that came at a steep personal or professional cost. Interestingly, 50 Cent's upcoming documentary might be the biggest wildcard here. Sources close to production suggest the film will not only explore past allegations, but also reveal text messages and financial records allegedly tied to key witnesses, some of whom reportedly changed their stories under mysterious circumstances. The fact that 50 received a cryptic threat hours after the verdict, believed by some to be Diddy's way of signaling retaliation, only intensifies interest. In the background, celebrities continue to take subtle stances, some like Keisha and Rosie O'Donnell calling for survivor support, while others like Ray J defend Diddy outright. But perhaps the most unexpected moment came when Justin Bieber's hand gesture in Young Miami's clip was interpreted as a silent nod to money moves, a moment that speaks volumes without a single word. With a pre-sentencing hearing approaching and tensions bubbling behind the curtain, one thing is clear: this isn't just a trial, it's a cultural reckoning. And if what Katt warned us about is even half true, we're only beginning to uncover how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Do you think Katt Williams was correct to foresee this entire situation? Is there any cause for concern regarding the awful message that 50 Cent got? I have a strong sense that many more stories will be released in the coming months, so this is by no means the end. Stay up and continue to ask questions about everything until the next time. Goodbye. Goodbye.